Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Live from My Drum Room. My guest is legendary drummer, composer, and Grammy Award winning producer, the one and only Narada Michael Walden. And in this episode, we talk about Narada's incredible 50-plus year career, which is documented in this brand new book, Narada Michael Walden, Drumming, Spirit, and Music by Aubrey Dale, available right now through Hudson Music. The foreword written by Billy Cobham. We do a deep dive into his career, into this book. We play a whole bunch of music that he recorded with Weather Report, Mahavishnu Orchestra, Jeff Beck, Tommy Bolan, so much more. And I promise you, his enthusiasm, his positivity, and his spirit is so infectious, you'll be smiling throughout this whole show. So come along for the ride. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I'll see you on the other side. I'd like to welcome the star of the show today, the legendary Narada Michael Walden is here with me today.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi, John, it's me. I'm here. Can you see me?
I can see you. Narada, it's great to see you, brother. Man.
You look good, man. You look good.
Well, you look better.
You got all those drums behind you. You want to jump on one of them drums and play me something hot?
I've been listening to you so much the past couple of weeks. You've inspired me to play something hot. I'm not going to do it today, but I just want to tell you that listening to you, I've been a fan for a long time, and this book that I've been talking about is so great. I think many people that thought they knew a lot about you are going to read this book and go, "Oh my gosh, man, I didn't know he produced all these records. I didn't know he played on all these records." So I just want to say thank you for being here and congratulations on an unbelievable career. Unbelievable career.
Oh, man, it's called Divine Love. I'm very grateful, I have to say that. But truly, the message in my heart to tell you is divine love. I think divine love will open the doors, and just to be here with you now, to be alive and see you now, it's divine love.
Oh,
You think about Mitch Mitchell with Jimi Hendrix. It's divine love the way he played. You think about Elvin Jones with John Coltrane. It's divine love. You think about Billy Cobham with Mahavishnu. It's divine love. All those great synergies. Ringo with Paul McCartney and John. It's divine love. All that coming down. So really, the drummers who I adore and why, they're the heartbeat of the whole thing. They're the engine, the motor of the whole thing. The heartbeat is so powerful. The love is so powerful. So this is why I'm really proud of drums and happy to be on your show. Live in the drum room.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. This book, it was so inspiring. It is so inspiring because what you just said, you feel it throughout this book. You know what I mean? Aubrey has done such a great job of capturing, your spirit and really kind of telling your story. And right from the beginning where, I made a note, I'm probably stating the obvious, Narada, but it's like you knew, maybe you didn't know you'd be a successful producer when you started, but when you read about how you got started, back when you started playing with John McLaughlin and Mahavishnu, it's like you had a producer's mindset to how you composed your parts. It's like, I'm thinking that you probably weren't thinking in 10 years or whatever, I'm going to be a hot producer, which is what happened. But it's like you thought that way. You could put the whole song together in your head. It's fascinating, man.
Well, that's very, very, very kind. What I want to say about that is, we learned from the records before us. Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Curtis Mayfield. I come from Kalamazoo, Michigan, and music is reigns supreme. To listen to all the good music and every kind of music. So in meeting Mahavishnu, who was a new sound in music of India, India raga with blues, jazz, hardcore, volume, power to the max, after witnessing what Billy Cobham had put down, out of this world. So in being able to play with that band, after I kind of got my feet wet, so to speak, I'm touring around for the second album of Visions of the Emerald Beyond.
Yeah.
Then I could be like a tiger because now I've kind of got my strength, you see, and I loved Vishnu's composition. he can write these incredible pieces that feature drums and basses and things. So I'm just really, really get honored in my life to have a chance to kind of interact with these great minds, these great people, and just bring to it whatever I've learned along the way from Motown, James Brown,
Yeah.
Ray
Yeah.
Charles, the people that just moved me. Nina
Abs-
Simone live at Town Hall when I was a little kid. Horace Silver, Six Pieces of Silver with little 18-year-old cat named Lewis Hayes on drums. Just phenomenal what they could do. You know,
yeah.
Art Blakey, we don't think of him so much. Art Blakey played rock and roll backbeat and jazz and just showed us how to do that. So I'm just saying, man, you know, all the greats who came before us, we borrow what we love about it, we mix it up, you know, and we just do our very best.
Wow. Well, you're so humble because you did so much at such a young age. I mean, when you joined Mahavishnu, you were 21, not quite
Yes,
22.
yes.
And you come in, and I know a million people have said this already, and you come in after Billy Cobham, and like, how does anybody follow Billy Cobham? But you came in and you made it your own, and you transformed. I mean, the band changed obviously at that time, but it's like you took it to another place, and Billy will always be Billy, of course. I mean, what he did is just so groundbreaking, but it's just phenomenal that you were able to like take it to like another place. That's
Well, let me say, I thank you again, man. You're beautiful. My love for Cobham is unparalleled.
yeah.
What I've seen him do in one show changed my life. When I saw the Mahavishnu Orchestra live for the first time was the Birds of Fire album. They were playing in Hartford, Connecticut. And when I walked in, it was a long white light down on Vishnu with his white guitar, white clothing, white double neck guitar, and Billy playing the Fibes drums. And they
Mhm.
were loud. You could hear from way in back of the auditorium. But as I
Yeah.
walked closer, because I wanted to get up close, just to really see what's going on with Vishnu, what's up in his eyes, what's going on. And it was just the two of them going at it, like a duet, drum and guitar, in some odd meter of 17 or something, very complex. But they played so passionately, so out there in this odd meter, and just owned it. And I wanted to see up in Vishnu's eyes, is it memorized? Is it, as a prefabrication? What is it? But brother, it went on for so long. It went on
Yeah.
for so long, like bullets flung out of the amplifier. It's like just, and then you could see his eyes up in his head, like rolled up in his head, just like in a meditation, in a prayer. And the cry was so intense, and what Cobham played was so incredible that it just changed me. I sat there just saying, I have to change my life. I want to be like this. I want to be like them. I want to be that. That's it. And what's it about it? It's kind of divine in that it's God ordained. It's not drug induced. It's not like I haven't got to die now. I haven't got to drink a bunch of alcohol, smoke a bunch of stuff. I can just be me and
Yeah.
love God and play. That's what also turned me on because I was seeing that come off the auras. So
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
positivity. I have to
Yeah.
say all that, man. Yeah.
No, and throughout the book, there's so much positivity that and I don't know you. I met you one time many years ago, and you played at the Modern Drummer Festival. But you met
Ooh.
a million. It was, I mean, 30 something years ago. And you killed it, of course. But all I know about you, and you're so positive. I mean, this is really who you are, and that I love that because it's how you sound when you play the drums. And what you get from your drumming is that joy, that positivity. It's
Thank you.
yeah.
My guru helped me so much. I'm born Kalamazoo, Michigan. My parents were young, 18, 19 years old. My mom being 19, Peggy Walden. My dad was 18, Harold Walden. He loved drumming. He wanted to be a drummer, but wasn't a drummer. He carried the
Mm.
drums around for his friend named Bill Dowdy, who was with a group called the Three Sounds. Gene Harris being on piano.
Yeah, yeah,
So the fact that I wanted to make noise and carry on as a young child was welcomed. So it's really beautiful thing that the parents out there, let the kids make the noise, let the kids get their feet wet and all that.
hmm yeah,
That's so cool.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's so cool. And I want to say also that we learn a lesson in our lives of not competing with others, but competing with ourselves. Like Guru would
Yeah.
say, don't compete with anybody else. Be the best of you. Think about
Beautiful.
yourself and be the best of you, and offer that to God.
Yeah.
So that's very freeing.
Yeah. When you say that, that's again, you just have to listen to the music that you make, and it's so free. You sound so freed when you play. You sound like just unrestrained and free. It's beautiful. And I know you get that from your spirituality, and it's beautiful.
I think it's a combination of this. Loving the great drummers who've played, that we all admire. The Mitch Mitchells of the world, and the cat who played drums with Ahmad Jamal on Point Siena. Boom, da-doom, doom, doom, da-doom, boom, boom, da-doom, doom, doom, da-doom, boom. But that guy, Vernell, whatever his name is. And then you look at Buddy Miles, how bad he was playing and singing and carrying on, You look at all these great people around. And another guy we don't talk about, but I love, is a guy named Sandy McGee from Cold Blood.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Awesome. So you just look at all the
yeah,
people you love, and you adapt, and it's in your heart. Then you add the meditation prayer to that life, where you ask God to come through. You constantly ask God to come through and just use the body, use the mind, use the heart to express something that's beyond.
yeah,
And it happens. This prayer we're talking about is real for whatever you want in your life.
yeah, yeah.
I have to say that.
No, man, it's beautiful. This is. I want you to say anything and everything you want to say. I wanted to ask you. So, talking about that first time you saw
Yeah.
Mahavishnu in
Yes.
Connecticut,
Yes.
I know that's in the book. So that was the first time you met Billy.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't
No,
meet
you
Billy
met-
that night. I could
you
hear
didn't meet
him.
Billy.
Mahavishnu, he poked his head out and said, wait in that room over there and I'll come and talk to you in about 5-10 minutes. So I waited in a little room. But in that little room, I could hear them in the bigger room high, just like
Yeah,
Elvin Jones, McCoy Tyner, Coltrane, Giant Steps, with Jan Hammer, and just they were just going back and forth with their high talk from coming off the stage. That's what they were
Yeah.
doing. And then in the room, my room, came the Mahavishnu John McLaughlin himself.
Wow.
Very, very, for me, like meeting Abraham Lincoln, like meeting the greatest person in the world.
Yeah.
And he had a kind of a strange accent, like of English meets Miles Davis, black mixture.
Mhm.
Hello, brother. How are you? Kind of
Yeah,
mixture,
yeah, yeah.
like that. I would say I'm Michael Walden. I play drums. I want to be like you. I've never seen anything like it. And he would say to me, "Well, it's due to my prayer life, my meditation life. I'm writing these songs. I'm playing these shows. I'm really concentrating more on my prayer life." And he would say to me, "Okay, here we are now in Hartford, Connecticut. I'm going to drive to Queens, New York, and be there at 6 a.m. to do meditation with the guru, and I'll tell him I met you." So I just thought about that. I go, that means he's not going to sleep.
Yeah.
That great concert he just put on, which is out of this world, he's going to just drive all night and see the guru at 6 a.m. So just things like that kind of hit me
Yeah.
like,
His
this
his
is really
commitment.
another world we're talking about,
Yeah. Yeah.
And as God would have it, about a week later, I got a phone call. I lived way up in a place called Canaan, Connecticut, out in the woods with a
Mhm.
band called the New McGuire Sisters. That would be with Sandy Turano on guitar, who was brilliant. Ralph Armstrong on bass was brilliant. Billy McCoy on keyboards. We had a manager named Greg Fell and my drum tech, Greg DeJoven. And we were way out in the woods and we just play every day, our hearts out. And about a week later, I got a phone call from Mahavishnu on the phone. I'm in the woods. He calls me on the phone and says, I can't go to the meditation tonight, but the guru is going to be not far from you in a place called Norwalk, Connecticut. So I went to that meditation, and that night changed my life again, because I was accepted as a disciple, just to pray more, to meditate more, to kind of think about God more, think about doing good at the highest more.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm so grateful that these things came along in my life when I needed them, because the drug life, I did acid. I mean, I did all kind of beautiful things that I opened my eyes, but I'm the kind of person I would be dead. So I want to live. I want to be like 100 years old. I want to live.
Yeah. Yeah.
So prayer, meditation, the spiritual life is really where it's at.
So absolutely. And so meeting John was really like such a big part of all these other things that happen, right? Wasn't that really like the singular? Yeah.
Yes, because I tell you, man, I was with a band also on the road for a while before the New McGuire Sisters. They were called they were called they were from Fresno, California. Deacon Williams and the Soul Revival. That was the first time I went on the road coming out of college. They came through town with a school bus, put my drums in the school bus, and we head off to Flint, Michigan, where we played some nightclubs up in Flint. And then from not far from Flint, we went to a place called Blue Rock, Illinois, where I could just see what it's like to be like a real, on the road type thing.
Yeah.
Some people might call it like a chitlin circuit, but really it was just being out there playing for the people. The people want to get a drink on. The lady with a little hole in her nylon want to have a dance. So you got to really play for these people. That was the greatest education too, just to really understand what that's about. You interview Greg Eurico.
Yes. Yeah.
Sonic Family Stone beat at that time was the beat.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the paradiddle stuff. See, Greg Eurico was the guru because the people responded to what Greg and Sly and Family Stone were doing.
Yeah.
So I just ate that up and played it powerful as I could in these little nightclubs across America.
Man, it's an incredible, it's an incredible journey. I just, I mean, I think everybody's got to read this book because the way the dots all get connected, to see you today and to see your success, it's so inspirational, I think, for drummers, all musicians, to just, to understand your journey, and you work so hard. I mean, you really worked hard to get to where you are. Obviously, it's
yes, but the point I was making, it takes a person like John McLaughlin to open the door. I would pray on, how am I going to make it, Lord? How am I going to make it? I mean, that would be my daily prayer. There are so many great musicians, so many drummers I'm seeing. There's a band across the way called the Shades of Brown. That drummer was awesome.
Yeah.
Of course, we know about the Steve Gadd. We know about all these great people in the world. How am I ever going to make it? So that Mahavishnu would take me under his wing was really critical and important in my life. Because as many people will tell you, it's how you do it. There's no book on it. There's no rule. It's just the good Lord and your hard work, and things come together.
Yeah. Well, and to John's music, playing that music, I know it was very inspiring to you. And did it force you to, throughout the book, it says, and I think you're a humble man, where it says you're not comfortable playing in odd times, and or at the time anyway you weren't, and the part about you not having fast single strokes, I got to fight you on that one, man. Your singles are, forget it. We'd all love to play singles like that, but was playing that music, it forced you to step outside your comfort zone, right? I mean, it made you just
two things.
Think out of the box.
Okay, two things. The band called the New McGuire Sisters prepared me for odd meter because Santana, the guitarist, was very much into Mahavishnu, Weather Report, the fusion pioneering that was happening at that time.
Yeah.
And in Florida, where we first got together, would be down the street, Jaco Pastorius, Hiram Bullock, Cliff Carter, Patti Scialfa, all these people, Pat Metheny, all these people. So I'm saying the fusionary thing that was happening that John put down, playing at 7, 9, 11, 13, now all the kids, we were like digesting it. We were eating it. And then when the band then moved to Connecticut, we're playing in these odd meters. So that really also helped me a lot. Then in joining Mahavishnu, John would tell me, when I come back from Puerto Rico, this would be 1973, it's Christmas, in the city in 1974, in January, I'll come to your basement where your band Jatra plays, and I'll teach you how to play with me. And he did. He'd come downstairs in the basement, we'd play in 7, and then he would say, no, don't hit downbeats. Just go with me. Because he was great at playing cat and mouse. He's a drummer.
Yeah.
He's a drummer in his mind.
Wow.
So even though he's playing all these great melodies and cries and whatever he's doing, he's hearing the great rhythms that he wants. So I just learned to kind of just listen. He would just say, Miles taught us to listen. You must just listen. That's the whole thing. So he could play just like quiet like a mouse, to roar like a lion. But it's all about how you listened. So, yeah.
Wow.
He's my teacher.
Man, what a teacher.
And one more thing.
Yeah.
Shapes, like 11. Feel the shape of time. If it's 7, if it's 9, if it's 11, if it's 13, feel the shape. Feel the shape of it. You know, like 11 could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. So feel the shape of it, you see. And that's where he lived.
He knew you were a good student and that he could impart this to you. You'd get it.
I loved him. Like I talk about divine love, the way Elvin Jones would say to John Coltrane, you know, I would die for you. You feel that spirit.
Yeah.
The music gets so high, it gets so out there, you give your whole life to it. I saw Billy Cobham do that too. Billy was so high with John that anything could happen. It's really remarkable. People need to know what the great musicians are doing. They're giving their all, their whole heart, mind, soul, energy, body to the music. It's really a phenomenon. It's just a phenomenon. And every time Stevie Wonder walks on stage, you see it. Ray Charles, all the greats. Aretha, I played with her. She gives 110% of everything she has, right down to the very end. She's going to die next week, let's say. But still, that last concert, it's everything she has. Why do we love Carlos Santana? He gives everything he's got. Why do we love Prince? He gave everything he had. Even the great champion Muhammad Ali, everything he had.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
Whitney, all of them. So that's what I'm trying to let you know. This I love. This is what I love. The passion of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. Well, I'd like to play Cosmic Strut from Mahavishnu, in fact, if we can give that a listen. And maybe just talk about it afterward. All right, here we go. And this is from Visions of the Emerald Beyond, the second record you did with Mahavishnu.
Theme. John Luke. We're back at 9. Ralph Armstrong.
Oh man. Wow. Just
Can I tell you how that record was done?
absolutely. Yes, please.
Okay. This is my first song ever on record. I
Right.
wrote it in my basement where I lived on the Fender Roads that Mahavishnu had given me. And then in the studio, this is Jimi Hendrix's studio where he made Visionary Emerald Beyond. We're all very honored to be in his in his studio. Oh my God. And then the engineer is Ken Scott, the great Ken Scott from the White Album and things for the Beatles.
Sure.
His
Yeah.
drum sounds were, awesome. So now it's time to cut this song, and I want to play it on clavinet. So then I cut it on the clavinet with a wah-wah pedal, Mahavishnu on guitar, Jean-Luc Ponty on violin, Ralph Armstrong on bass, like that. And then I go to overdub the drums. So the drums were overdubbed. And that was really unique to play this song, hearing in my phones what they had just recorded. And I'd never done it before. And then, so all this is new for me,
I read that in the book, Narada, and
Yeah.
I've heard this song many, many times. I did not know that, and I wonder how many people, I'm sure, probably didn't know that, because it sounds like you're playing with John. You're playing it live in the room with John. It's unbelievable that you overdubbed the drums.
Yeah.
And
But the clavinet was the glue for me. That's what it was. You see, the clavinet,
Yeah, I
when they
understand,
were
yeah.
putting their parts down, it all kind of came so tight that, hey, it wasn't hard to put the drums on it.
Man,
Yeah.
it.
And you say the single thing, Billy Cobham, the single stick thing. That's my homage to Billy, doing that kind of a role, because that's what
Yeah.
he is. He's such a master of that. We can't touch him, but it was just my nod of my heart to him.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful homage to Billy, man. I'm sure he appreciated it. But the playing, the drums are so cohesive to the rest of the track that it sounds like it's just all integrated as one live performance. It's incredible. And to your point, Ken Scott, man, what an engineer, what a sound. Man, it's 50 years ago. I mean, that holds up as well or better than so much of what's out there today. I mean, it's just incredible. Yeah.
God bless
Bravo.
him, man. Mahavishnu
Yeah.
love. He let me do that, and he was right there with me and plays so beautiful as he does. Jean-Luc, as we know, is always brilliant. Ralph Armstrong will be 17 years old on that bass. We
Yeah.
don't give him enough love. He's something else, man.
Yeah.
He brought, quite frankly, from Detroit, he brought that James Jameson, James Jameson in a young soul, a young body, to Mahavishnu Orchestra. All the wisdom of James Jameson, all the Motown, what's going on from Marvin Gaye. He would bring that kind of wisdom to the fusionary world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm really, really knocked out by Ralph as well.
There's a
And then
great,
Gail Moran's there. You got
of
horns,
course,
Bobby
yeah.
Knapp,
Yeah.
Bill Hershey, the whole crew. Just a wonderful, wonderful time in life. 1975. That'd be
Yeah.
75. Yeah.
1975.
We made Apocalypse in 74. We toured around America, and maybe in Australia and different places. Went right in the studio to make this Visionary Emerald Beyond. I remember Mahavishnu giving me cassettes to listen to of, Eternity's Breath and all those songs he was writing, and they were incredible. And God bless me that I kind of could hear what I should do
Yeah.
based on his cassette. It was just
That,
perfect.
yeah. That's
Almost like he wrote
amazing.
it for us. He wrote it for us because now we've toured. He kind of knows our strengths. He kind of wrote it for us. So it was like a shoe. Fit perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Did that track, because as you said, that was the first song you recorded and you wrote that song.
It wasn't the first song we recorded. It's my first song ever on record.
First, yeah.
The first song on the album that we recorded would be Eternity's Breath.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But did that give you, did that open up the sort of floodgates of just creativity and you feeling this surge of just like energy and knowing you could do what you could do? Did that maybe like confirm in all these ideas that you had in your head that like you could make them a reality because of how that
Oh, I
felt?
was just very grateful to be given the opportunity to have a song on the album.
Yeah.
That's that's incredible, and to have these great masters play that song. So for me, I don't know what to say, man. It's just happy, happy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
happy.
you were talking about Ralph Armstrong. There's a great
Yes,
part in the book where
yes.
Aubrey interviews Steve Smith, and Steve talks about how Ralph would constantly remind Steve of how you would have played something. I don't know if you saw that part. It was very
Yeah,
funny. It was very
yeah.
funny. I know Steve really well, and the way,
Okay.
yeah, he's a good friend of mine too, and
Okay.
the way he tells the story because it has him laughing in here when he said something, talking about Ralph and Aubrey says he's done all that stuff with Mahavishnu, and Steve says right, which he never let me forget.
Right,
So,
exactly.
but it was like to your point about him being young. You could understand he loves you so much that he just said, no, man, Narada would have done it this way, and that's not the way to do it. And I just think that's great, man. That's a friend, that's a believer,
Yeah.
a
What's funny on
soulmate.
the way this book came to be is that I was on YouTube watching different drummers play, and then I stumbled upon Aubrey Dale playing the transcription he had done for Cosmic Strut,
Oh wow.
and I was amazed. I didn't, first of all, think could write out all that stuff, but he did, to the point where he could play it back and film himself playing it back what I had played. And I was like, wow. So I had called a friend named Calvin Weston in New York how I could
Mm.
find Aubrey Dale. He said, Aubrey's my friend. He gave me his phone number. I called Aubrey Dale. I said, wow, man, that's incredible. You can do that. He said, yeah. I said, well, if you can do that, we should get together and just have you write out Lead Boots, Eternity's Breath, a whole bunch of stuff. And that's how this book came to be.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
how it happened. I swear to you. And
That's
Aubrey just worked hard to make all those transcriptions for all the drummers who want to play that stuff.
Yeah. He's done a phenomenal job. He did all the interviews and he, as well as you say, the transcriptions and all the, just all the information too. He did all his research. Obviously he talked to you and you
Yes.
gave him all this great information, but
Yes.
it's so great. It's talking about Lead Boots. I'd like to play that song too, because one of my favorites. And, you look at, I keep coming back to this, Narada, but you look at your legacy of all these monumental, historic songs that you played on. I mean, it's incredible. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. You got so many people watching. Kenwood Denard's watching. So many great
Cameron, I
drummers.
love you, man. God bless you.
Yeah,
A
Luis
great
Conte.
drummer.
Yeah,
Who?
great.
Louis
Luis
Conte.
Conte. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Fantastic.
yeah.
Wow.
Kenwood,
Thank you,
man.
Cats.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Let's play Lead Boots, man. This is
Okay.
such a bad tune. Oh
Okay.
man, here we
Now
go.
I'll tell you the story afterwards.
Yeah, please. That would be great.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay. Okay. Watch. Yeah. Jan Howard's a freak. Oh my
Oh,
God.
man.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That guy overdubbed. Everything on that record is live in George Martin's studio, London Air Studios. My white drum kit there that Greg Jones put together, mic'd up. Jeff Beck right in front of me with his big old Marshalls. Max Middleton on that funky clavinet and Rhodes.
Yeah.
And Wilbur Bascom on bass from Bernard Purdy tour with Jeff Beck, the mean bass player.
Yeah.
And we put that down. Two things you should know. I got to London a couple days earlier to rehearse the song in a little tiny basement, like Max Middleton's basement or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I had my little cassette machine so I could tape record that drum pattern I got into. Because when it came time to record the song 2 days later, I'd forgotten the pattern. As you know, it was a
Yeah.
real intricate pattern. And
Yeah.
so I had to just go run the tape machine, study it. Oh, there's the pattern again. Then I
Came
could cut
back.
it. And I was so excited that on the record, you hear me start off goes because I'm playing before they even hit the start button or the record button.
Yes.
So when they hit the record button, you hear
Yeah.
and they kept it. They kept it because they liked it. But that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
that was live. And the
Oh.
Jeff Stoll, that's all live. Then Jan overdubbed that stuff you're hearing, and it's just perfect fit how he can just do that because he's a drummer.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
he's a
Yeah.
hell of a drummer. So
And
yeah.
did I read that he overdubbed it and he mixed it too? He actually mixed
Yes.
that song?
Yes, he mixed all the stuff that we did.
Yeah.
Once Jeff got over to his place in his studio, in America, up East Coast somewhere, I've not actually been there, but Jan played such incredible stuff and got the sound that Jeff fell in love with,
Yeah.
kind of a raw, funky sound for that time, and that was it. My songs of like Come Dancing, Play With Me, Sophie,
Hmm.
Love Is Green, Blue Wind. Jan mixed all that stuff.
What a
Played on
sound.
it, just had his way with it, man. And man, he turned it out. So there you
Yeah.
go. And I didn't hear it till the album actually came out. I went and bought the album to hear what he did, man.
That's wild, man. I'm glad you were happy with it.
Yeah, and it flew out of the record shops like hotcakes.
Oh,
It was like
yeah.
Jeff's biggest record at the time. Then
Yes.
Blow by Blow went gold, and Truth went gold, and all went gold. So it's just, but I must say, I had an upper hand because we toured with Jeff Beck. Mahavishnu Orchestra and Jeff Beck toured together. It would be Bernard Purdy on drums with Wilbur Bascom, Max Middleton with Jeff Beck's band, and then the Mahavishnu Orchestra. And touring across America,
Wow.
Europe, wherever we went, I
Yeah.
really got a hand on what it was that Jeff's fans loved about what he was doing because he could play so tender and sweet, right? Then right next to it just be a raw.
Yeah.
So you kept you guessing what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
But if you play the chord change kind of sweet up onto him, kind of sweet a little bit, like the Stevie Wonder type vibe, with the funk drums, he could just go rock, blues, tender at any moment, and people just were like enthralled.
Yeah.
So I kind of learned how to write because we went to go Wired after we did Let Boots. He said, "I need material. I need more songs." So across the street at Trident Studios is John McLaughlin mixing Inner Worlds with Dennis Mackay. And in the studio of Trident Studios, downstairs is a piano. On that piano, I went down there, and God gave me the gift of Come Dancing, Sophie, Play With Me. And I went and showed Jeff, and he's like, "Yeah, let's learn those." So just like that, it all happened.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What a magical time, man. What a
Really.
magical time to be playing music, where it just, everybody was open to ideas. It all just kind of happened, right? I mean, it was so like spontaneous.
Yes.
And I got to say, Narada, that song grooves like crazy. It's as intricate as the parts are that you're playing and everybody's playing. Like when you listen to it and you count it, it grooves. It really grooves. And like you say, Jan Hammer, man, he's grooving.
Okay, you got to know, we in the early days of this fusionary pioneering thing, like Cobb and Put Down and all the Lenny White and all that world coming on, the funk aspect was a big part of it. The James Brown, the Bernard Purdy in the fusion to make it swing, as you say, or groove, as you say. That's a big part because you're right. It's so intricate, so much going on. But if it didn't have that stank on it, that funk on it, that cold sweat on it, respect on it, Aretha Franklin on it, it wouldn't have been the same thing. So you had to kind of really think that way. Even though it's complicated, no, still make a dance floor. Still make a dance floor. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, and just the list goes on and Weather Report. I mean, you made such a mark with Black Market and although if I understand correctly, you were offered, joining the band, but you chose to, at that point, you wanted to play with Tommy Bolan and meet girls, right? Is it?
Yes. It's true.
I love that, man. It's so from the heart, like I want to, yeah. Well, can I play something from Weather Report?
Yeah,
because
sure.
it's so it's so monumental.
Will the girls like it? Will the girls like it?
They will.
Okay.
The girls will love it. Girls, should we play Cannonball?
Sure, play it. Now, Cannonball is Jaco Pastorius' audition song.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yes, brother. He was flown in because I was asked to play drums in the band. I said, well, I'm not sure I can join the band. I'm probably going to go with Tommy Bolan band, because I've told Tommy I was going to join his band. But I have a bass player for you. And Joe said, who? I said, how about Jaco Pastorius from Miami? He said, I've heard of him. So why don't we fly him in? We flew him in. The next morning is when he played and learned Cannonball. And I'll tell you about the story after you play it.
Oh, yeah, man. Now I do remember reading that now that you say that, Narada. Yes, yeah. Well, yes, I can't wait to hear this. Okay. Here it comes. Here comes Cannonball from Black Market. Bravo. And I just want to say, Narada, that what I love about that song is the sensitivity in your playing and the way that you build. Obviously, you build to the end, but it's your playing is just so sensitive, to Joe, to just the rest of what's happening. Jocko, of course, is such a featured sound in that song, but it's beautiful the way that you just kind of play around all that.
Okay, imagine from my standpoint, I'm here on the drums. To my left is Joe Zawinul, who composed Mercy, Mercy Me, who composed all this great music that you love of the Weather
Yeah.
Report. Right next to him is Wayne Shorter. And then right in front of me is Jocko. And then before Jocko got there, Joe ran through the song so I could just tape it on my cassette, which was so helpful because I could go in the hallway and memorize the song because I'm not reading that stuff. I can never read all that, but I memorized just the melody and the heart of it. And then when Jocko walked in the room to kind of learn the song, Jocko is at that time still being Jocko without Joe bringing the fire to him yet. So now what he's doing is he's overplaying to show Joe how great he is.
Yeah.
And then Joe stops and says to Jocko, "Don't play that shit on my song." I'm like, oh my God. The whole room was like, ooh. So now let's put Jocko in the fire to kind of mold him to make him into the Jocko that you now know. That was what happened. Yeah. And then for all of us, we became more sensitive to what that song was written for Cannonball Adderley. He said, I'm either going to call it Cannonball Adderley, Cannonball, or Empty Chair. So it was already a deep feeling in the room because we so love Cannonball. So that's the story of that beautiful song.
Yeah, that's a great story. It's a great story, and you can understand that Joe had to almost sort of like stake his spot right there, and say, "Listen, man, you're going to get to play, but not here," or yeah. And
I'm
Jocko
telling
was
you, that's how then Jocko became Jocko for the next album, The Heavy Weather. where he was a massive star, because
Yeah.
now he understands Joe's sensitivity and is bringing what he can, and Teen Town's coming out of it, or Mark You Made's coming out of it, Birdland's coming out of it. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So hey, man, Joe Zawinul, we don't know that well, perhaps, but I know him up close, and he's a perfectionist and intense. From Vienna, Austria,
Yeah.
very intense, character. You want to please him. You want to give him what he wants. He's like a fighter. He's like a boxer. And he would say, when Wayne gets upset and I want to make Wayne feel good, I go into my garden and I dig in the black earth potatoes, and I give to Wayne potatoes. And this makes Wayne happy with me.
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
beautiful.
wow, man. I'm like, okay. Okay.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, it's like that.
Oh, it was
So
deep.
you
Yeah.
play for him. You play for him,
Yeah. Yeah. I met Joe a couple of times, and yeah, no, but I didn't know him like you. But he was, I worked for Zildjian for many years, and
Okay.
I remember him calling me when he had his own band, when he had the Zawinul Syndicate,
Yes.
and he called me to tell me that his new drummer Paco Seri was in the band, and basically saying, you need to sign him up, give him an endorsement. We're going to be at the NAMM show. This is 30 something years ago. And he was great, man. I met Joe, and actually we had a few more, interactions after that. And as a result, met Paco and took care of him. And what a great drummer he is, just, but Joe, like you, yeah, Joe, but Joe, it was my experience with him, Narada, was like just what you just said, which he was very like on the phone said, you're going to do this. And we're not going to talk about it. Like, this is what's going to happen, And I remember telling Peter Erskine the story, and he said, "Yep, that sounds like Joe." Yeah.
I just interviewed Peter Erskine 5 days ago,
Oh, fantastic.
so he's on my mind.
Yeah. And I saw
Him
you
and
just
yeah,
Omar yesterday too. Did I
yes,
see? Oh,
that's right. All these great ones who come through at Weatherport are on my mind.
oh, great, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Alfonso Johnson got me there in the first place because I did his solo album, the great Alfonso Johnson, on the
Yes.
Black Market Song. And so he opened the doors too. I just have a great love for him. And I
Yeah.
must say, I was honored in Japan in 1995 as super producer. And I took to Japan with me Joe Zawinul, Alfonso Johnson, Alex Acuna on the percussion, genius on percussion, and my man on sax. Help me. His name just flew out of my head so quickly. But he's great. Anyway, it was so fantastic to be in Japan with those guys, man.
Yeah.
Playing live that stuff.
That must have been incredible. That must have been
Yes,
incredible.
yes.
Well, talking about we could spend the whole afternoon just talking about all these incredible songs, and I want to kind of move a little more forward toward your producing and how that sort of happened. I mean, was it Quincy Jones that was the sort of initial spark to make that happen? Was he like the first person to sort of take you under his wing, and so to speak?
Quincy, of course, I adore Quincy Jones and his majesty of wisdom and love. He's the king of love. He's really incredible. He's very inspiring to me. So he did tell me early on in my life that we could use more producers, more helpers.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that was true because even in my own recordings, I would need helpers, producers to help me. And, so in my life, after I kind of got things going with I Don't Want to Bells Dance With You, I Should Have Loved You, Tonight I'm Right, in more of a dance direction, there was a little girl named Stacy Lattisaw at Cotillion
Yes.
Records.
Oh, that's
And,
right. Yes.
Henry
Yeah.
Allen. So I told Henry, I said, let me produce 4 songs for her. If you like them, cool, we can finish the album. If you don't, then you haven't lost much. And we worked really hard with T.M. Stevens on bass, Frank Martin on keyboards, Corrado Rucci on guitar, and just rehearsed Let Me Be Your Angel, which, wrote with Bunny Hall, and Dynamite, and Jump to the Beat, those pieces. And then got with Stacy and then recorded them, and also got Mike Gibbs to do some string arranging from Apocalypse album for that touch, and got Jerry Hay from Quincy Jones, Michael Jackson stuff, Jerry Hay, Earth, Wind and Fire, to bring some horns into it as well. So I was just very fortunate to get a sound early on that opened doors for hits in the radio world.
Yeah.
That really helped me. And technically speaking, I want to say, I don't want to forget this. The first thing I really produced technically was for Don Cherry, the great pocket trumpet player from Ornette Coleman. On that album, we had Tony Williams, Lenny White, Raymond Gomez, Stanley Clarke play on that record. That was from the jazz side. But on the pop side, the first thing was actually Stacey Lattisaw.
And your role in most of these cases, Narada, and I know it's different probably, and depending on the situation, but you come in and really act as an arranger in many of these cases, right? I mean, you come in and you'll hear maybe the form of a song and say, I think the chorus needs to be this, or maybe rewrite a verse. And do you and going back to the beginning of the book when you started playing with John, and it seems like you always had that way of seeing the big picture of a song, of a composition. You could just kind of, it's like a book that you open up and you see a picture of it. Is that how you would kind of describe the way you produce songs?
Yes, but also with love, because whoever you're working with requires a lot of love. And if you're being paid to produce a record, then you know your job is really to give them a hit.
Yeah.
You're not there just because you're a good musician. You're there to give them a hit. So I learned that too. So then you have to know what a hit is at that time in life, because it keeps changing. The sounds change, whatever. But I know one thing is a hook, the chorus, strong. You can imagine people singing, wanting to sing. You can hear On the Hour, Every Hour. It doesn't get too boring. It stays exciting. So I brought what I learned in jazz rock fusion into pop music. I take a pop song, a pop hook, but I'd flavor it with the excitement of fusion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of what I learned in rock, what I learned in high-powered music, be the synth going, guitar parts being really, really super funked out, or the drums being super powerful and loud in your face. So I just bring all those things I've learned along the way. Yeah.
Yeah. It's incredible to look at the contrast, exactly what you're saying, like all that power and all that intensity that you play with, and then you produce Aretha Franklin, and you give it that sensitivity. You don't change Aretha, which is beautiful. You didn't try to, you enhance this legend, and the cool thing about that too, 1985, it was 20 years after she had made it, and you kind of reinvented her with that song, talking about Freeway of Love. And and I want to play that song because I kind of silly me, I didn't know that you produced that song until somewhat recently. I always loved it. I remember when it was a big hit, and it really kind of, again, it brought her back to the forefront. God bless you, brother, man. I'm going to play it right now. This is such a great song. Yeah.
Okay. Aretha.
In
heaven, smiling with us. Hey.
The Queen of Soul. Here we go.
Okay. Come on.
Yeah, man.
All right.
the wind and your fingers in the hair. Kinda think we're going for an extended throwdown. So drop the top, baby, and let's cruise on into It's Better Than Ever Street.
Oh man, Aretha. Oh, wow, and I love those Motown like fills that are like, just perfect for that song. Just yeah,
It's all
so great.
intentional. I thought,
Yeah.
in doing a song for her, Detroit, we identify her with Detroit, cars, Cadillacs, and then Motown, the vibes, the bang, all
Oh,
that, Ain't Too Proud to Beg, Temptation.
yeah,
Put all that together,
it's
So it's
perfect.
very intentional. Make people think, oh, Detroit, we love Detroit, we love.
Oh, such a great tune. Again, so uplifting. It's just you can't not move your body when you hear that song.
Thank
It's
you.
so great, man.
I
So
want to say about her that she's so professional. At that time I recorded that record, it was snowing in Detroit. When I cut the track, in California, fly back to Detroit to do her vocal because she won't fly. So when I
yeah,
get there, it's a lot of snow. It's snow. So she'll call you and say, no, when you look out the window, what do you see? I say, oh, I see a lot of snow coming down. Say, right. Now, I don't drive in that snow. That's day one. So day two, what do you look at? What do you see? No, I don't drive in that snow. That was going almost 4 or 5 days. Just
oh
hanging out.
man,
But when
yeah,
you go there, she's got it memorized. Everything you just heard her do. There's no lyric sheet.
yeah,
On the music stand, there's no lyrics. It's all in her head.
yeah. What a pro!
She's so
Wow,
professional. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I never experienced it before.
yeah,
So, yeah, man.
amazing. And you produced her around the same time you produced Whitney, or it was Whitney Houston. It was around that same time.
Yes, the same
That
time
you
as cutting this album for Aretha is when I got the call from Jerry Griffith about producing Whitney, and I said no. I didn't
right.
want to be distracted from Aretha. He said, well, you have to understand something. This is Sissy Houston's daughter who's going to be a big star. I said, Sissy Houston, wait a minute, she's singing Garden Love like my album. I met a little 11-year-old girl in the corner, Sissy's daughter. He said, that's her. She's grown up. She's 19 years old now. So I kind of had to take a step back and go, well, let's see what we can work out. And sure enough, I stopped the rehearsals of the recording of Aretha for one day, and how will I know?
Yeah,
Just did it quickly.
yeah. And that record, I mean, and that I did know at the time. I remember reading that you produced that, and that you had you had really evolved as this successful, incredible producer. And that, I don't have to tell you, that record was like, it just like changed the world. I remember seeing her win all those Grammy Awards, and congratulations to you as a producer and a songwriter and a visionary for that. And I can't help, again, I keep coming back to this book, Narada, and all these people in your life. It's like, it's amazing how people come into your life and then come back again. Like you told that story about when she was 11 years old.
Yes.
And here she is now, this fully formed artist who you are able to just take that clay, and really mold her into just a phenomenal artist, just phenomenal.
But Whitney, and to speak on her behalf, her mother taught her really how to do this thing, because her mother had sang background on Elvis Presley, Dionne Warwick, all the pop stuff out of New York. That was the mom singing. So she really taught Whitney how to do. So when I got with How Will I Know, when Whitney came to the studio, she just, again, knew it and piled it down like what you're hearing. She brought that to that record, and then I realized how great she was going to be. So,
Unbelievable. What a story.
I gotta thank Clarence Clemens playing sax on Freeway of Love. I gotta thank Randy Jackson playing that Moog bass, and also on How Will I Know. That was Randy on the bass. Randy Jackson, the Great American Idol judge. He's a phenomenal bass player. You all know, on synthesizer with one finger. Corrado Rustici from Italy on guitars. Walter Sanafiev and Preston Glass keyboards, and Frank Martin and all my crew, and my engineer David Frazier. My crew is so tight. They just they pour the honey on the pancake. They give me all the love, which I need, and I'm fast. Everything I do is always fast. Like this interview, we talk about these things, but that's how I am, because I felt the spirit's here, and I don't want it to go away. So I've learned I got to catch things quickly.
I get that, and I know the energy's flowing all the time with you, and I can feel it, and I won't keep you much longer. I was gonna say, should we play a couple of minutes of How Will I Know? Would you like?
I think you should do whatever you like and what the girls like.
Okay, the girls like that.
The girls really want.
All right. Well, I think this is such a great tune. Now, do I? And forgive me if I have this wrong. Are you playing Simmons drums on this too? Are you playing?
It's mixture.
You are.
Yes,
it's a mixture
it's a mixture of that, live drums, and Lynn programming, both.
Okay,
all.
That makes me so happy. I was working for Simmons around the time you did this, and I assumed so many records were made in those days with a Lynn drum or an Oberheim DMX or something, and I was so happy to read that that's you playing those Simmons sounds. So
that and live drums, it's the mixture. I had to find a way to make the drums be competitive in the new world of machinery. So I found if I could mix them, that was the new sound. Some machine stuff, some live stuff. You mix it together. That became like, wow, well, what is it? The what is it factor helped me have hits with the hit songs and the great artists. And Prince was at the helm of that, of just changing things so quickly, making things like we had never heard before. Also Quincy with Michael Jackson, things we had never heard before. So we had to ride that crest.
Absolutely, and you did, and you do. And can I ask, did this record really kind of solidify? I mean, you were already on your way as a rising star producer, but did this record, the success of this, really kind of just seal that for you? I mean, the work, you must have gotten so busy after that, I have to think.
Well, I will say the first platinum in my life is the Who's Zooming Who Freeway of Love Aretha album, and her first platinum. Her first million seller. She had a lot of gold, but never a million. I did not know that. We both got our first million seller on that record. Then the second would be the How Will I Know, blowing out the door with her first album being so huge around the world for Whitney. Yeah. So I have to really credit both of them.
Great.
And I have to say, Jeff Beck, my first gold is Wired.
So
there's a lot of synergies going on here.
Man.
Yeah.
Now I mean, you could probably wallpaper a supermarket with all your gold and platinum records. So. All right, well, here we go, man. This is such a beautiful song. How Will I Know, Whitney Houston, produced by the great Narada Michael Walden.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Whitney.
Oh man, what a talent! You know, if I were to refer to the perfect pop song, like if someone said, "What's the blueprint for writing a great song?" That you'd have to point to that song. It's just so from the bottom up. Well done. I mean, it's just
George
perfect.
Merrill, Shannon Rubicam, myself, and my great team to actually produce it up. And then
Yeah.
her and her mom. After I heard her sing it, I said, "Can you get your mom down to sing background?" And in they came, Sissy with her singers, and the sound that they made was great. But I said, "I really need to have you, Whitney, out with your mom."
Yeah.
And that's what you're hearing on How I Know, her singing with her mother.
Oh man,
That's the sound of How I
that's it.
Know. And
Yeah.
then I wanted
Yeah.
to get the Clarence Clemens nod of the head. So Clarence was out with Bruce Springsteen. I have a dear friend named Prameek Russell Tubbs. I said, "Prameek, come in here and do a Clarence type solo." And he did. And it sounded so good in that room where Whitney had been with me. Michael Barbiero, I believe his name was, the great engineer, that we stayed right in that room and just mixed it and finished it. Yeah, so
Beautiful.
I'm really
Yeah.
pleased in New York.
Yeah. And I meant to say when we listened to Aretha that microphone is a famous microphone that you're using
This
right
is
now,
the
right?
mic. This is the mic for Who's in the Who for I Love. And then when Whitney came to our studio, I went down Somebody Loves Me, Where Broken Hearts Go. I'm sure we flew back to Detroit for George Michael too. I Knew You Waiting for Me, Starship, Nothing Gonna Stop Us Now. A lot of records at the time. I've always
Yeah.
liked this SM7 because Bruce Swedien told us that's what he was using for Michael Jackson. And I like that you can be tender, it can catch it, and you can be loud and it won't distort. So this is why it's good for the soul singers.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm using one too. I didn't
love it.
realize it was the same mic. Yeah.
Yes, brother. Yes.
Yours has got a little bit more mojo than mine though. So well, you know, I skipped past. I wanted to just, and we're going to wrap up soon, I promise, because I've kept you here so long today. But I'd love to play a Tommy Bolan song, "Marching Powder," because I think this was such a great track that you cut, and I think, you know, again, it's just another part of your life that is so fascinating that you've had this career, and we're going to step backwards for a minute and play this, if that's okay with you.
Yes, I want to say this is back in the same great room of Jimi Hendrix's studio. Let it. I'm sitting now where Mitch Mitchell is at. I'm sitting where Buddy Miles is at, which to me is like monumental. And I look across and who do I see there? Is Jan Hammer. The first time I'm in the room with Jan Hammer, live. I'm also in the room live with David Sanborn. I'm in the room live with Sammy Figueroa on congas. I'm in the room live with Stanley Shelton on bass and Tommy. And engineering it is our dear friend from Inner Worlds, Dennis Mackay, at the console. So it's a real love fest going down.
Yeah.
And then Tommy just showed us the song one time, and we cut it. I think we cut it twice, and what you're hearing, I think, is the first track of it. So we didn't take long doing these things.
Yeah.
But we had to be mentally sharp because it's got some changes in there, you know.
Absolutely does. Yeah. And it's got that, you know, spontaneous kind of sound and feel to it. Yeah. That it's very, well, let's play it.
It's because of this that I decided to join his band. I wanted to go out and do the rock thing with him. It's because of this type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't want to skip past that part of your life.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for that backstory too, Narada. Here we
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
That last one gets me every time, man. Wow. Oh my. It's like you knew it was fading and you're like, I got to get this one in, man, before. Oh my. That's so, I'm so glad we played that. I would have been so bummed if we finished and didn't play that song because it's
Thank you.
too important. Thank you. I
Thank
have to ask you. So on all these songs we've listened to, other than the electronics with Whitney, you were playing the Gretsch drums right up still at that point?
Yes, those
The white
drums were
Gretsch?
made when I joined Mahavishnu, and I went to Frank's drum shop and asked them what we could do to make a new kit for me that would be powerful, loud. And Frank was very cool. He said to me, "Well, if we take these drums, these Gretsch drums, and we spray paint them on the inside with a double coating of a man, what's the word?
Like a lacquer or
Yeah, a
polyurethane?
lacquer, exactly. We double coat it with a lacquer. It will help it speak, and that's what we did. What we did. So those drums
Wow.
you're hearing on Weather Report, Jeff, this, all the
Yep.
Mahavishnu stuff I did, and
On
those
that
drums are
song,
really
yeah,
powerful.
the incredible, and the mix on that too, I love, and again, it's listening to that song to me really represents again the freeness in your playing. Like you just sound so, it's so joyful, and it's you sound fearless, if that makes sense, Narada. Does that sound?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
like it,
you know,
like
playing fusion is fearless. You have to have
yeah,
a like Muhammad Ali. You know, you're going
the
to go into
greatest.
a big fight against Sonny Liston. You're nervous. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah,
but you want to win that fight. So you do whatever it takes to win that fight, and you got to razzle and dazzle the crowd.
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel very much that kind of a feeling. Like it's very exciting. You're looking
yeah.
across at John Hammer. You're looking across at Tommy Bolan, who just did Spectrum with Billy Cobham. It's a lot going down, man. It's a lot going down. So you get really
Yeah.
excited like a prize fight. Oh yeah, it's
Good
big, man. It's
analogy.
big.
Yeah.
It's big. Yeah.
Yeah. Stanley Sheldon is a friend of mine too, and he
Is
usually
he?
watches these shows. That I don't see him today, but I was hoping he'd be watching because I love Stanley's playing, and I thought it'd be kind of nice to play that song with another
You know,
legendary
I
Stanley.
saw Stanley when I was on the road with Jeff Beck, with the Tommy Bolan family, Johnny Bolan, Stanley, Jeff, and myself had a very nice moment together. You
Oh,
always want to keep alive the
yeah,
beautiful spirit of Tommy. And Jeff Beck loved Tommy. There's a lot of love there.
yeah. I'll bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for your loss with Jeff Beck. I know it really seemed. I know you guys had a very deep connection, even beyond the music. That it's obvious, and yeah, he was.
He liked to have a good time, you know?
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
like that spirit, not knowing what's going to happen, but it's rock and roll and it's tender, and then it's strange because you can get into some strange stuff too. Like, what is it? You don't even know. But again, you're fearless. You just trust it,
yeah, yep,
you know? And like high school, the spirit in high school, you want to have just, you don't want to just, high school comes through strong with Jeff. He's just like that feeling.
yeah,
Like, I didn't get a chance to play with Jimi Hendrix, but playing with Jeff was like that. Mahavishnu was like that. Raymond Gomez brought that same kind of wildness. He wasn't sure what's going to happen. Carlos can do that. Those great ones can do that. I'm just so
yeah,
pleased.
yeah,
I'm so pleased. So, in Jeff's honor in heaven, it was his birthday a couple days ago.
I know. I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah, happy birthday
yeah,
to Jeff. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to play one more song, and it's a more recent song that I think your playing is so beautiful, so strong, and I believe you co-wrote this song, and I think you produced it as well. It's "Let It Rain" on the Journey record
Oh,
from a couple
okay.
of years ago.
Yeah, well, that was done during COVID. Neil,
Yeah.
Sean, and myself got together in the studio and put down the basic tracks for the Freedom album, a double album for Journey. And
Hmm.
then during COVID, John Kane overdubbed, Randy overdubbed in their different places, LA and Nashville. On the screen, we get in the Philippines, Arnell to sing.
Yeah.
You know, it was just done like that. So, but it was incredible to do it, and a lot of love, and a lot
What
of
a-
vision, and a lot of love to Neil for championing that great cause in that great band that he's the founder of.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, and bravo to you for
And
for,
Steve Smith, we love.
Yeah, and Steve
Perry,
Smith,
all
we
them
love.
cats,
Yeah.
man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
All those guys.
Sure.
But you laid
And
down
Randy
a drum
Jackson played the
track.
bass. He's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. Randy Jackson, of course, yeah. But this drum track is so great. It's so great. The sound of your drums. I know you're playing DW drums on this one, and the mix. I'm excited to play it for everybody if they haven't heard this song. And the song's called "Let It Rain." And you know, when you listen, for me, Narada, when I listen to this song, your playing evokes it. It feels like it's raining. It has this kind of. Your playing gives this sort of aura of like this, like if there was a video for this, I could picture just rain falling, you know, and I visualize that when I listen to this song, and I really want people to give this a listen and really dig the sound of the drums, and of course, your incredible playing on this song too. So
Thank you.
yeah, here comes "Let It Rain" from Freedom. Journey record came out. I think was it released in 2022, recorded in 21?
Recent, man. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all brand new.
All brand new. All right,
Yeah, it's all brand new.
here it comes. All right.
We love Neil, Lady M, everybody. God bless you out there in the Journey land.
Yeah,
Dean
yeah.
Casanova, we love you. All y'all.
Yeah.
It's a beast.
Oh man, is it ever?
It's a beast.
Masterful. And then, did you mix that as well?
No, that's mixed by the great Bobby Clearmountain.
Oh, of course. Okay.
Bobby Clearmountain, yep. He had done other Journey albums and wanted to bring his touch in, and he's got the magic, and we love Bobby Clearmountain.
Yeah,
We have to thank Neil. That's really Neil Sean. That kind of direction, that kind of sound. It's out of his heart. So got to give him a lot of love.
That's a great track, and I wanted to end with that just to kind of bring it on home. And I thank you so much for being here with me today, Narada. I'm so honored and thankful to have you with me. Thanks for spending time.
Thank you, John. I want to add. Can I add one more thing? I'd like
of course,
everyone else to pay attention. One more thing. A new album I got out just now called Euphoria. Check out that too. A jam with Sting, Carlos, and Stevie.
I'll put a link in.
I Love My Life. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me know. I'll put that in here as well.
Okay.
And,
thank you.
And I want to just remind everybody about this book, Narada Michael Walden, Drumming, Spirit, and Music by Aubrey Dale. Yes. Order it through Hudson Music.
Yes.
And man, I'm speechless. I'm just so honored to have you here with me today. You're a hero, and I'm so inspired. Thank you.
Man. What was a highlight to you today? Of all things we did, what's the one highlight for you?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, it's hard to pinpoint one thing. I think having you give so much background on all these experiences and all these recordings and these milestones was so huge. I think having you give your own perspective, just your positivity throughout the whole time we've been here today. It's just been, I think everybody feels it. I know I do.
Thank you so much. I love people. I love humanity. And I'm so happy to be on the earth at this time. And I want to keep alive what the people in the Flower Children did in the 60s, trying to bring love to the planet, like Jimmy and all that, and the Beatles and all that, and Motown. But keep all that alive. And Martin Luther King and all that. Keep it alive, that we love each other and we need each other. So here we go.
I want to live to be 100 too, so I'm right there with you. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching, everybody. A big hand from Narada Michael Walden.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And if you'd hang with me 1 second, I'll end the stream, Narada. Thank you. We'll see you soon, everybody. All right, well, that's my show. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, leave me a comment, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And remember, all episodes are available as podcasts on all the podcast platforms. But I also want to share some very exciting news with you. I've recently created a scholarship through the Percussive Arts Society. It's a Live from My Drum Room scholarship, and that 100% of the proceeds from all Live from My Drum Room t-shirts will go toward that scholarship. So if you've bought a t-shirt, thank you very much for supporting this. If you're interested in buying a t-shirt, I'm going to give you that information right now. Shirts are available for $25, and that includes the shipping within the contiguous 48 U.S. states. And they're available in sizes extra small to double XL. The Venmo payment information is at John-DeChristopher-2. Again, at John-DeChristopher-2. Please be sure to give me your size and shipping address. And you can email me with any questions at livefrommydrumroom@gmail.com. 100% of the proceeds go toward this PAS scholarship, Live from My Drum Room. I thank you so much for your support. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And remember, no drummers are harmed on any show. I'll see you again real soon.